It has been observed that older people, especially the ones above their 50s, have a higher risk of developing chronic diseases than younger ones. And studies have shown that there is roughly a 52% higher risk of developing cardiovascular diseases for men, and 39% for women above their 50s. Putting a full stop on certain foods after age 50 can potentially reduce the chance of developing a number of chronic diseases, in addition to increasing life expectancy. So what are those foods? Let's learn in this video. Number 1. Fat-free processed foods. This may sound quite surprising, but having low-fat or no-fat food can do worse to your health than good. Eating fat isn't itself unhealthy unless you eat too much of that. Fats aren't just a rich source of energy, but also an essential source of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. So if there is no fat in your daily diet, your body is more likely to be deprived of essential nutrients and more susceptible to catching the sickness. Additionally, most of the processed fat-free or low-fat foods, especially no-fat dairy products, are usually packed with a lot of added sugars and preservatives. Not only this can cause your blood sugar to rise, but also increases the risk of developing diabetes, heart disease, and other chronic diseases. One more thing, not all types of fats are bad for you. Trans fats are the most harmful type of fats and are usually present in many fried foods, cakes, and cookies. So you should never eat such foods, especially after the age of 50. On the other hand, fats present in many nuts and seeds, fatty fish, and avocados are considered quite healthy. So try to keep moderate amounts of healthy fat food sources in your daily diet. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. If you find our videos helpful, please support us by becoming our patron. Number 2. Grain-fed meat. Regardless of how commercial meat is advertised, most of the commercially available meat, particularly beef, comes from grain-fed cattle rather than grass-fed ones. The grain-fed meat typically contains higher amounts of omega-6 fatty acids and lower amounts of omega-3 fatty acids. Studies show that a higher ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids is linked to a higher risk of developing many chronic diseases, including heart diseases, neurodegenerative diseases, inflammatory conditions such as arthritis, and even some types of cancer. What makes it even worse is that most commercially bred cattle, or grain-fed cattle, are usually injected with certain growth-promoting hormones, antibiotics, and certain other drugs. Effects of these drugs and hormones can also reside in grain-fed meat to some extent, and many experts believe that eating such meat is linked to hormonal imbalance or premature puberty, especially in women. Keeping in view these potential risks of grain-fed meat, you should never eat it, especially in your 50s. Instead, try to look for reliable sources of grass-fed meat. Number 3. Processed meat. Processed or cured meat, including bacon, hot dogs, sausages, and other canned meats, typically have a lot of added salts, artificial flavors, and preservatives, notably nitrites and nitrates. Nitrites in processed meat can turn to harmful compounds known as nitrosamines, which tend to increase the risk of many types of cancer, including bowel cancer, stomach cancer, and colorectal cancer. But it's not just the nitrites or nitrates in processed meat that you need to worry about. Studies also show that eating around 50 grams of processed meat daily is linked to roughly 42% higher risk of heart disease and around 19% higher risk of developing diabetes. Although people of all ages should try to avoid processed meats as much as they can, but people older than 50 years should never eat it. Instead, try to go for fresh or lean meat straight from a butcher and bake or cook it yourself using healthy ingredients. Number 4. Fried foods. Although fried foods such as fried chicken or potato fries may seem quite delicious, however, they can be quite harmful to your health, especially if you are in your 50s. First, deep-fried foods are very high in calories and potentially contribute to obesity. Second, since they are usually fried in unhealthy vegetable oils, they contain a lot of saturated fats and trans fats, which tend to increase bad or LDL cholesterol in your arteries. Plus, they are also heavily loaded with salts. Due to a high concentration of salts and trans fats, fried foods can significantly increase the risk of developing hypertension, type 2 diabetes, heart diseases, and strokes. As an alternative, you can try frying your meals in healthy varieties of oils, such as coconut oil or olive oil. A much better approach is to oven fry or air fry your meals with the least amounts of salt. Number 5. Refined grain flour. The worst thing about refined grain or white flour is that it's been made free of bran, which is the usual source of dietary fiber in grains. Fiber, as you may already know, is crucial for digestive health. Eating a diet deficient in fiber not only affects your digestive health, but also tends to reduce the ability of your gut to absorb vitamins and minerals. More amazingly, studies show that consuming lower amounts of dietary fiber is linked to a higher risk of several digestive disorders, diabetes, and even heart diseases. Consuming refined grain flour on a daily basis, or the products made from it, such as bread, pizzas, or pasta, can cause your blood sugar levels to rise quite rapidly. Ultimately, this can lead to speedy weight gain or obesity. So if you are in your 50s and want to stay healthy and live longer, you should avoid eating refined flour as much as you can. Alternatively, you can consider whole grain or multigrain varieties of bread, oats, or pasta. Number 6. Soda drinks. For anyone looking to enhance their health, giving up soda is a must due to its high sugar content and lack of nutritious value. Generally, older folks should prioritize nutrient-dense foods rather than wasting their appetite on empty calories, because they typically have weaker appetites. On the other hand, cola drinks typically contain a lot of calories, specifically sugars, while being absolutely non-nutritious. According to experts, drinking high-sugar soda drinks can increase the chance of developing many chronic diseases, including type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even neurodegenerative diseases, such as dementia and Alzheimer's. Even worse, these drinks can also worsen the symptoms of these diseases if they already exist. Additionally, phosphoric acid, which is a usual ingredient in dark sodas, tends to absorb the calcium in bones and teeth, leading to tooth decay and a higher risk of developing osteoporosis. So if you are in your 50s, you should never go near this drink. Number 7. Fast food. Eating fast food regularly is closely related to a higher risk of developing many diseases, including digestive disorders, obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart diseases, and even certain types of cancer. Plus, they also tend to increase oxidative stress on your body, resulting in inflammation and an increased rate of aging. So you should never eat junk food, especially after the age of 50. Number 8. White bread. White bread or pasta is usually made from white flour, from which bran has already been removed. It's essentially high in calories, carbs, and sugars, with little to no nutritional value. Therefore, it's best to keep away from such foods. Number 9. Dairy products with added sugar. Many types of processed dairy products, such as frozen or non-fat yogurt, cheese, and milk, usually contain exceptional amounts of sugar and can potentially increase your risk of developing obesity and heart diseases. It can be even more damaging if you are in or above your 50s, when you have to rely mostly on nutrition rather than so many calories. So try to steer clear of such foods. Number 10. High-sodium foods. Just like many essential vitamins and nutrients, a regular and moderate intake of salts is considered quite crucial for the normal functioning of muscles, the heart, and even our central nervous system. But excess consumption of sodium salts can be potentially dangerous for heart health. Experts say that people older than 50 years should not consume more than 1,500 milligrams per day, which is roughly less than a teaspoon. Thank you for watching and subscribing to the channel. See you in the next video.